by the time you watch this, it'll probably be 12, maybe 11 days. We don't know exactly when time's going to be reset. We know it will be. The best we know is that it's going to be probably Yom Teruah. And we'll find ourselves back in 2012 again. And you can't take stuff with you. And you're not going to be Biff and Back to the Future with the sports almanac focused on getting your financial empire built up. So, you know, that's not right thinking. So what right thinking involves is making sure that what is carried over here, that you're a wise steward of that. And we know what's laid up in the eternal is not what's here in the temporal, but we have opportunities before us now. And in particular, what's been on my heart this last week has to do with this passage from Philippians 2 that Aaron read. And, you know, we see so frequently how people are consumed with their own personal issues. And, well, of course we are, because that's how we're raised up, and that's the way of the flesh, and that's just how normal people are. But when God touches a person and they become focused on others, and their life becomes one of service, their attention goes off from themselves and their personal issues, and it goes elsewhere. And the world often exalts this seeking of personal happiness, this finding of personal satisfaction in wealth or family or some other accomplishment. And this self-focused activity is contrary to the work of the Spirit. The work of the Spirit turns our attention off ourselves. Primarily, it turns our attention onto Him. And when we have an important relationship with Him, that dominates our lives. Our values change. Our focus of attention changes, and no longer are we confronted with our own failures, our own petty irritations, our annoyances, all those things that tend to make us miserable, where we compete with other people for something that we want for ourselves. These things go away, and what we find is that at some point the Lord will take us into an intimate relationship, and He'll show us things through His eyes, and He'll show us His own heart towards His people, and our attention will become focused on them through His eyes, and we will see their need as He sees it, and we will find ourselves operating in gifts that are for the building up of His body. And our body, you know, we think, well, the church, well, that too is kind of limited because it goes beyond that. The church is here, and the church has a purpose. The bride has a mission to the church and an example to set, but also to Israel. And all redemption of everything that is pivoting on the bride at this point in time, and the bride's relationship with the 144,000, their further missions, for the fulfillment of all the harvests of the earth. It's all been for this. Yeah, and if that seems like a big deal, yeah, it is. So as you're tempted to reflect upon your own personal issues, if you find yourself doing that, I pray that you will recognize that you're not thinking right and that you're squandering the time that you've got left. I encourage you to get with the Lord and to focus on seeing what He sees, feeling what He feels, for making your interests His interests. And the misery and confusion and everything else that's pressing in on you at the present time through the temporal, that will go away. And this transition of life is what brings true strength and true joy and true purpose. And this is how the Lord will manifest in his people in glory. And what you can get a hold of it in this season, I implore you to seek it and get it. What's coming in the next season will be another opportunity, but it will depend to a large degree on what we take out of this season here. For encouragement's sake, we're very encouraged. Aaron and I are thrilled to pieces to see how the Lord is working with his people, raising up his people. And it encourages us that, yes, he will have, as he promises in this season, a finished work of preparation that will be adequate. And then in the next season, he will have a people who he will receive unto himself, glorify himself. So with that, I want to close out and say thank you for those of you who are praying for us, who are sacrificially giving of your resources, whatever they happen to be, to help us to bring us to this point where we just rejoice in knowing that our season here and the efforts of this season with all that is passing away. We're excited about what's coming. We look forward to the next couple of weeks. We don't really know what to expect. We don't know how the Lord can top what he's already done. So we ask, as we often find ourselves asking, what's next? Aaron and I always get a kick out of that because the Lord seems to prompt that when he's about to raise the bar. So here we go. Adventure time. Bye-bye.